Hey, welcome to another video where I will go through my January pages that I did in my Take Note A5 planner that I'm using as a journal. So let's start with the monthly overview. I know that some people like to use the monthly as a overview of stuff that will happen in the month, but I like to use it as a overview of stuff that has happened. So um, I fill this out retrospectively. So after a week has been finished, or if I forget after the month has been finished, I will go back in and fill these pages out and then decorate. So what I track in here is the big events. So obviously, Happy New Year because we started 2025, dinner or meet up with friends, my birthday. Um, but I also track appointments. For example, my nail appointments, GP appointments. I will sometimes also write down when I went to the gym. Sometimes, not always. I'm not very good about it. Happy Meal. I also track either gifts from friends or stuff that I've ordered. For example, I placed a tea order and I write it down because my tea orders usually give me enough tea for a whole year or for 8, 9 months. So it's easy for me to go back at the monthly overview and see when I ordered the tea and how long I've used it. So after I fill out all of these events or things I want to track, I then go back and decorate. I sometimes decorate based on intention. So, for example, the movie I went to see had a cat in it, so I added a cat. And my birthday, I added some cake. And the 29th was the Lunar New Year, so there are some things that match the event, but sometimes it's just random. I think if we look at December, yeah, I think December is mostly random. There is pet a cat here because apparently I pet a cat. I remember the day, but some things are just random. Now let's go to the weekly pages or daily pages. Since the take note usually starts with the first week of the year in it, so you don't start a month ahead or 2 weeks ahead. The only 2 days of 2024 in this planner are the 30th and 31st, so Monday and Tuesday. I used the page from the 30th to write my intentions for this year. I have 7 intentions, which I will not read, and I'm not sure if you can read on screen. Feel free to if you can, but I will not read them out. These are just intentions. I don't particularly put goals in the sense that if I fail this goal, I have failed in life. Obviously, that's not how people think, but it feels like that for me. My intentions are more like while I do stuff during the year, I try to keep these intentions in mind and um, they kind of guide me in making choices. So that's how I work with these intentions. My favorite one though is do something new. It's been an intention for the past, I think, 3 to 4 years. And it's a really fun one because you can apply to a lot of things, both good and not good. So be careful about that. But for example, if I go to a restaurant and I want to try something new, I know my intention is to try something new. And it's like a nice encouragement to actually do something new. So the ink that I use on the first is the ink that I mixed for January. And wait, maybe I should show that. I used a monthly overview, the one from February, to swatch my inks that I will use in the planner. Since I don't use these to look at fonts what I'll be doing. So this is very nice to see just as an ink swatching page. So for January, I mixed a custom ink. It's Diamine Scarlet, 4 drops yellow, 4 drops gray, 4 drops, and 15 drops of water. So it gives this diluted, muted pink. And I knew that I wanted to create an ink swatch. I think I briefly thought about making an actual ink swatch, like a blob of ink, but I wasn't sure how much ink this paper would handle without creasing and folding, even though it is Tomoe River, but we all know the drama of the new one. So I decided to fill out squares just so it would be manageable. I wrote 2025, I added another Madachi sticker, and then Happy New Year, and then I probably should have read my entries before filming to remember what I wrote, but I wrote something. You can see some creasing, I think, depending on the light. There is some creasing from the ink, but it's not too bad. Going to bed early, I always on that first step. Trip on that first step. That's true. I want to fix my sleeping schedule, but that's not working out so well for me. I still just go to bed way too late. What else? Nothing special. So the 8th is my birthday, and my friends Souli Journals and Lunaire 7_7, they sent me pages of their calendar. That means that they ripped up their 2025 calendar even before the 8th happened. And I thought, in order to honor their sacrifice, I should add the calendar pages to my agenda. Because why not? What else? I don't remember what I wrote here. Oh, there's a quote here. Isn't all life a one-way trip? Once you embark on the journey, there is no turning back. It's from Black Myth Wukong. I remember my partner was playing Black Myth Wukong, and then one of the characters said this quote on my birthday, and I thought, that's kind of deep. So, we like quotes. We like quotes. Oh, I have been using this column here to track my incoming stuff. So that is either orders or Happy Meal or purchases that I made. I don't track essential purchases like if you go to the grocery store for groceries. That's not what I track. I track stuff like stationery orders from this is from 85 Louis Tranquille or from Uniqlo because I got some winter clothes. Those type of orders. And Happy Meal from friends. So this is the rest of the week. I have to say that most of these pages are created either one day at a time or 2 days at a time. I don't remember how many days it took me to create these pages, but I do like how the colors sort of go together and make sense. I went to a thesis defense of a friend on the 9th, so that's probably what I wrote about there. Then I have no idea what I wrote about. 11 was a birthday dinner with friends, and they gave me stuff. And this is one of the tags from the gift. And I thought it would be funny because here's a gift for you since it was my birthday dinner. And I also wrote the gifts they gave me. So I find it nice to track who gives me stuff. Um, because I don't know, I don't trust my memory in several years to tell me exactly who did what or from where I got something. So I write it down. Then the week from the 13th to the 19th, I had very low energy, and you can see that in my entries, a single or two decorations and a short piece of text. This face sticker is one that I designed for Kofi last year, I think, or the year before. I don't know. All of these days are blurring together. I never released it because I was never fully sure how much I liked it. And now that I'm using them again, I'm not, it doesn't really work out for me that well. So I probably will redesign them a couple of times before I actually release them in the future. No promises. Okay, this weekend I set up my Traveler's Notebook regular size. This is my first one. My friends gifted me a brown cover for my birthday, and I thought it would be perfect to commemorate this occasion in my journal. I did a combined entry for the 18th and the 19th. That's why the page is here in the middle and it says 18 and 19. I decided to write down the date even though it's there. But since the entry is for both days, I thought it would be good to write that it is for both days. And there's nothing on the bottom, it's just not fully glued on. This entry on the 17th, I realized, like while doing other tasks in the house, that I had this washi tape with the pink elements, and then I thought, I should use it. So I added it here, and I wanted to write the text, but it then felt a bit unbalanced. And I was going through my stamp collection. I found, well, I didn't find like it was lost, but I saw the stamp that Lee Journals gifted me. It's a lamp. And I was like, this is perfect because now it looks like it's a cable and then the lamp is illuminating the writing. So that was my thought process behind the decoration. Okay, so, okay, I remember what happened here. And it's not like it's negative, but I realized I hadn't been using any pressed florals. If you have followed me on Instagram before, you know that I love to use pressed florals in my pages, but I have been a bit careful about using additions in these pages since I have to be in this journal for a whole year and I don't want to bulk it up in January, even though I have been adding paper, but florals are more 3D, paper is more flat, it's easier to work with. So I found this little leaf that I had and I layered over two flowers from Payan and I added one of these Madaichi little guys to interact with it. Like it's a guy pointing at a forest of flowers. On the 21st, I received Happy Meal from Eleonora and you would think I wrote about it here, but I actually wrote about it on my Wednesday entry. And the reason for that is on Tuesdays, I generally go to the office and the commute to the office is around 4 hours. So 4 hours plus an 8-hour work day. It's when I get home, I am dead tired, no energy. I generally don't journal. So I think I came home and the mail was here, but I opened it on Wednesday. So it is noted down because I received it on Tuesday, but I opened it on Wednesday. The decoration, so this wrapping paper is the packaging that Eleonora packed the Happy Meal in. And I don't remember if this piece of paper was also from our Happy Meal, but I found that the colors combined so well together. And I was like, I have to use this. So yeah, this is my entry for Tuesday, and this one is for Wednesday, and that's why I also circled Wednesday on there. So this week was very intense. So it was already intense here to start with, but then here it got even more intense. And I will not talk about Thursday. Listen, there's a reason why it says what a day, and there's this girl looking very annoyed at what a day. It was an intense day. Um, I did think it was very cool to use this girl that I got from Roro Pixie Dust. I do not know her username on top of my head. But I was actually wearing a black blazer with a white turtleneck and a light blue jeans that day. And I thought, this is me. But then, if you imagine like a curly pixie cut, since I don't have straight, long hair, and I thought it would be perfect. Then on Friday I had another work event. So I went to work on Thursday. I had a work event on Friday and that required a lot of yapping. I did want to add some decoration. I didn't want to go for only plain writing. So I added two flower petals and then wrote around it. And the G here is in pink ink, which I don't know if you can pick it up, see it on camera, but pink ink and then the rest is in black ink. Um, On the 25th, I went to the movies with a friend, and on the 26th, I was just fully drained, so I needed a chill day. I don't like the decoration of these pages. I don't like how I did these journaling entries. And yes, I know, in general, I like what I create, but sometimes I really don't, even though I post it and I share it. I don't like it. So these two I don't like, and I can already tell you I also didn't like the entry from the 27th. It feels unbalanced, it feels randomly put, not much of thought put into it. But these days happen and I try to embrace them as they come. So we're already in the last week of January. I The 29th was Lunar New Year. So I decided to make a tip in because I probably want to talk or complain about work on the 28th. So on the 29th, I covered it. Actually, I did these two entries together. So I knew I wanted to do a tip in for, for the, to hide the 28th. So then I put the 29th on top. And then for decoration, I added this washi tape, which I ran out of. And now I need another roll. And I haven't ordered it yet because this one is really a favorite. Anyway, that's a side note. I added another Modachi sticker that I had and then did the entry. And I really like how this looks because there's a lot of white space, which again, we all know that I'm a huge fan of white space. And then you have the decoration on one side and then the writing on the other side. I think it just balances out perfectly. And then, okay, so I created the 30 and 31st on stream, on my Twitch streams. I used the Lulu calendar page that I received from someone. I don't remember who. It's an old calendar page. I just cut out the illustration and I stuck it here and I added flowers. The reason for that is I had this feeling when I was creating this page that this looked like a dying branch of flowers, like when you have flowers in a vase and then at one point they have been in there so long that the flowers start to fall off. And also because it's the last day of the month, so that's generally when you do your monthly resets. So then there's like two flowers left that are very dark, like over flowered or overripe, but then the flower version, and then some that are falling off because again they're at the end of the flowering period. So that's the story behind this page. It is intentional. So some days I do create a narrative on my pages, and some days I don't. So for example, when I was creating these two pages, I just wanted to write and the entries were not cohesive because I did them on separate days. But then on days like this and these two, they are created together, and therefore I can often think about a narrative that I want to portray, and then I make the entries cohesive. And those are generally the pages that I like the most. So again, these two pages were created together. This one wasn't, but they just happened to work together. And this was my yesterday entry. I was really tired, so I wrote, "Oof, so tired, need rest." With a low energy stamp. This one is from Miss Pulat. It is one of my most used stamps, I think. This is my mood a lot of the time. And obviously, there's nothing set up for February yet because we haven't journaled. Today is the 2nd, so I have lots more of days to go for news spreads. In the back, I track the stuff that I've been watching and the stuff I've been listening to. And it says music on top. It is not really music. It turns out I don't have any music or sound themed stationery. So this is me being very desperate, and I found one thing that said music and I put it on here, but it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but it's not accurate. So now showing I watched the Apothecary Diaries season 1, really loved it. I think the new season is still being released, right? So I need to start watching that. I started with Downton Abbey. There's 1 star, and I'm sorry if you're a lover of it. I am both very uninterested in the show, but I keep watching it because it is English and I can have it in the background and I can do other tasks while it plays in the background. So it might rise to 3 stars if I decide to finish it, but I am not enjoying it very much. I also went to see Flow, an animation movie with a friend. That one is 4 stars. I do 5 stars as the rating. If I and my brain of show of the moment is Singles Inferno. I have watched all of the previous seasons, and when I was like, oh, there's a new season, I thought it was already finished. I probably should have looked up if it was already finished. It wasn't, and it isn't. So that's a bit of a, I don't know. I like to binge shows, so I generally watch when something is done, and then I go in and watch it. So unfortunately, I need to wait for the new episodes to be released. But so far, I'm enjoying it because it's drama. It's fun. It is. I don't need to think too much about it. And again, this is music. It's not really music. I am listening to an audiobook. It's been a month and I'm not even halfway. Audiobooks don't really work for me. I am very good at tuning out sounds. And if I listen to an audiobook while doing another task, let's say cleaning or commuting, my brain just turns it off. And then at one point I'm like, oh wait, I'm listening to stuff and I'm supposed to pay attention. So it's very slow. I'm not really making progress on it. There's a Stray Kids song slash, and then I listen to the Stationery Cafe and Tokyo Inklings. This is not the only song I listen to, but the songs that I've been listening to are from last year. So I don't need to rewrite it. I generally only write the new things on my playlist. So that one is a new obsession. I actually have to add a couple more that I found last week that became a instant like. But I will probably wait another week and see if they stick or not. And that's it. That is the update. That is where I am at in my journal. I am also using a Stalogy for my A5. What? No? For my 5 year. Oh my god. I'm using a Stalogy B6 graded notebook for an DIY 5 year journal. I am not sharing that one on social media because it has some private stuff in it, but it's chilling right there. So I've been keeping up with it. And I am using a Traveler's Company regular size for my personal planning. So just to show you, and this is my Traveler's Company regular size that I got from my friends. I haven't decided on the customization yet. It will be, again, it's a work in progress. So I will think about how I want to customize it. But for now, it has my Hobonichi weekly supplement for work in here, which might be replaced to something else. Because this year I'm apparently planner hopping. And it has a um, blank, yes, a blank insert for my personal planning. And yes, I started bullet journaling. I don't like bullet journaling, but I didn't want to spend money on a personal planner this year. So this is my own fault. I brought myself into this. So that is the setup. There's not much in it yet. I am still fine tuning, and one day I will be able to show you the final setup of my regular size. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you spending some precious moments of your day here, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.